Yes, guys, what's going on? Welcome back to AdamMcKola TV. I am Adam. You guys are absolute legends for joining us, and this is United Daily Live. Welcome to the show. This is the place where we have all the latest Manchester United transfer news, latest news, headlines, all that good stuff right in your lives. And on the day where Manchester United will be playing West Bromwich Albion in 2 friendlies, it's weird that, isn't it? It's weird that. I don't think I've ever said that in my life. United will play 2 friendlies today. But we're going to play 2 friendlies today against the same team. And that is West Bromwich Albion. I assume it will be 2 different 11s. I assume, you know, it's just preparation for the next campaign. And that campaign starts a week today. I say starts, it restarts. It feels like it's going to be a whole new season, especially with how long football has been out of our lives. It's going to feel like a new season. It's going to feel like, you know, It's going to be, and as soon as it gets started again, that's the annoying thing. As soon as it gets started again, it's going to stop again. That's the most annoying thing about it. But nevertheless, I'm not going to complain because we didn't know we were going to have any football. We were kind of all against behind closed doors football. And I think we've kind of just been held into submission by this coronavirus pandemic. We've tapped out and we said, yes, please give us behind closed doors football. And we're all ready and raring to go. And Manchester United take on Tottenham a week today, United take on Tottenham. So we're really getting into the swing of things. And it's 5 days until Manchester City hand Arsenal their arse and give us a really welcome beginning to the season again, or restart to the season. So we're going to get all that good stuff. And yeah, it's going to be a great time, innit? Hopefully, anyway, because if United lose at the first day, it's going to be a bad time. So, looking forward to a week today where we get that action in. But today, we're looking at some thoughts from Christian Falk, who works for Build. And he's done an interview with United Report. So, shout out United Report for their great work at this moment in time. That's where the report that I'm going to bring you in regards to Christian Falk, Manchester United budget, Jadon Sancho, Jude Bellingham, all that information comes from there. So if you want to read in depth a little bit more, if you want to have the article open while we're discussing it here on AdamMcKola TV, then head over to United Report, UTD Report, and check that out. So we'll be looking at that today. We'll be looking at, obviously, the news. United are going to play West Bromwich Albion, and a week to go until United play Spurs. So, you know, what kind of team will we be seeing? Was there a hint in one of the pictures that United released yesterday on a chunk of that team? And there's also another report on Ansu Fati as well. So we'll be looking at all those things. Sai, I just seen your question. It's something that renews every month. Yeah, I don't think you have to rejoin every month, but it does renew every month, if you get what I mean. So welcome to everybody to the show. At the moment, we've got Damien, Adam, Michael, Idant, Joel, Nornihal, Dr. Tom Moy, Robert Wagner, Anand Shakar, 94J Reed, he's back in the house, Jay Sale, Mahadevan, Korstab, Morab, Chad, Paul B. We got loads in the house. PKC the first in the house. Simon's in the house, as I said earlier. Atif. So guys, thank you very much for joining us. Ross Murphy as always, Sapper. So thank you guys for joining us on AdamMcKola TV today. Appreciate every single last one of you. Even if you don't watch live or you tune in after the fact, thank you to you guys as well, because you know things are starting to snowball here on AdamMcKola TV, and we need to keep going. We need to keep pushing that momentum, and keep setting targets and knocking them down. That's what we're doing here. And the football coming back next week's gonna help us a little bit more. So yeah, where has this news come from that Manchester United have 300 million euros to spend? 300 million euros. I've put pounds there. It's euros. 300 million euros equates to 268 million pounds. Now, as I said in an interview with the United Report, Christian Falk has been speaking about a number of things. Spoken about Thomas Muller in the past. Spoken about a few other things. Louis van Gaal. So if you want to find out more about them, go and check them out. I'm not going to give you the whole article. I don't want to do that. You can go and read it. But one of the things is mentioned in there when speaking about Manchester United and Jadon Sancho. It says in Jadon Sancho's case, United would be the next step in his career from a player's perspective. I have heard from my sources that United's management is ready to invest 300 million euros to build a new team. Now, what I must say is 300 million euros to build a team. This can be helpful and unhelpful. One, United might not even have that money available. Two, teams thinking or knowing we have that money available is going to cause issues for us. Because as we're already seeing with Dortmund, they're briefing the press an awful lot that they want over £100 million for Jadon Sancho. So if people in Germany are thinking Manchester United have £268 million to spend, you can see why Borussia Dortmund would then be in a position of saying, well, we want a large chunk of that. So whether it's true or not, that can cause issues for United in Germany and in those negotiations with Jadon Sancho. If it is true, which I'm a little bit sceptical about, look, we took out 140 million in credit, so we've got that. So where's that other 120 million coming from? Obviously, we apparently had 90 million in reserves, which we could have used before that. So, all right, with a little bit of sales, maybe you are getting up to there. And he does say that in the same thing, the 300 million euros can also be spent this summer if the needed players are on the market and if they can sell some players. Now, you got to think, we spent 100 million pounds on Jadon Sancho, 160, 170 million. You know, you're probably going to get 2 or 3 top quality players in this day and age with that kind of money. But it'd be the kind of move United would need to make in order to try and bridge that gap between us and Liverpool and City. Now, obviously, you've got to get rid of players off your wage bill. Alexis Sanchez being one of them. You know, Chris Smalling being another. Marcus Rojo, Phil Jones. There's probably a number of players that we're looking to get rid of in order to bring in some money and also in order to be able to free up some space. But I do think we won't be spending anywhere near that. Now, I am sceptical. So you guys can take this information as you wish. Obviously, it's Sport Build, it's Christian Falk. Is he going to have the inside scoop on United as much as you would think? Who knows? But I don't think United will be spending anywhere near that. I could possibly see us spending 150 million, 170 million, you know, maybe 200 million, and then recouping about 40 for Smalling and Rojo and Jones and Sanchez, if we can. I could possibly see that. But I just don't see us spending that kind of money. Now, that kind of money would get you Jadon Sancho, Jack Grealish, you know, Donny van der Beek or Jude Bellingham. It'll get you all of that. Maybe even a centre-back as well. But is it real? Let's see. What do you guys think about that? Let us know in those comments below. He also mentioned, Christian Falk, he also mentioned in his discussion in regards to Jude Bellingham that our information is that he has chosen Borussia Dortmund. And there's been a lot of talk about that. There's been a lot of talk about that. Now, I genuinely think that may be the case with Jude Bellingham because of the fact that, you know, he's not going to get much football at Manchester United or more football at Manchester United than he would at Borussia Dortmund. If they are selling Jadon Sancho, if they're selling Jadon Sancho and they're getting rid of him, then they're going to need to bring someone in. I know Jude plays in the middle, but he can play out wide. And he goes in there and he's possibly fighting for a team, a spot in the team straight away. And it's a team that's functioning well. You know, he's going to get more at United in the wide areas, potentially Sancho, definitely Rashford, Daniel James, all these guys like Mason Greenwood through the middle. He's not going to play up top, so it's further back. You're looking at Pogba, Bruno, McTominay, Matic, Fred, Garner, Levitt. And we have to consider Garner and Levitt because they're around the same age as it. So you think, okay, maybe it looks likely that Jude Bellingham won't come to Manchester United. That's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. It would be nice if it came to United. He's clearly a talented player. But the feeling in Germany At least with Christian Falcon Sport Build, and again, as I say, thank you to United Report, is that their information is that he's chosen Borussia Dortmund, and we've heard that a couple of times as well. So before we get a few bits else on Kai Havertz and all the other news that's out there today, get us in your thoughts on what we've just discussed. A potential war chest for Manchester United of 300 million euros. What do you guys think about that? Let us know in those comments below. Someone said Sal, Garner and Levitt. I definitely can't see that happening. Yeah, we probably spend 150 million. Sancho and a midfielder. Maybe another defender, says Chris Green. Yeah, I can see the money, or a large chunk of the money for a new defender, coming from sales first. So there you go. Torres from Valencia is the Jadon Sancho replacement, says Vishal Tumbi. We have heard Ferran Torres has been linked with a number of players in the past. Number of clubs in the past, including Manchester United, as a potential Jadon Sancho alternative. Another Jadon Sancho alternative that we heard about was Ansu Fati. Now again, I feel like United are being used for a new deal here. And you do seem to get those impressions, especially when you see the reports that have come out today. We've just got a new member, which is Ritan Uchiha. So thank you very much to Ritan for joining AdamMcKola TV. I really do appreciate that, mate. Thank you very much for your support. I'll post a new Discord link today, so you guys can join the Discord. Any new members could join the Discord. And there's 2 exclusive members videos which have already been uploaded. We've only been going for 2 months. The 3rd one's going to be uploaded in a couple of weeks. But yeah, go and check those out. That's 84 members now, after Simon rejoined today and Ritan just joined. 16 away from the target of 100 by the end of the month. Thank you very much, Ritan, for joining. I appreciate your support. Shock Fatty to stay at Barca, says Steve. Ritan says, finally a member. How does the German reporter know the finances of Manchester United, says Veda. That's a good point. You would ask that. Now, it could be that, you know, because United are so, I'm just guessing. I'm not saying, I'm not defending him or his source or his knowledge. You know, that stands on its own, and his past and his reputation will obviously stand behind that. But I'm trying to think. But if you think about, you know, Jude Bellingham, Jadon Sancho, you know, Kai Havertz is another one, Timo Werner. So there's been a number of players that, you know, are linked to German clubs or are at German clubs that United have been linked with. In those negotiations or those discussions with personnel and representatives, and then leaking that information back to him, depending on who his sources are, he could find out. You know, it's not beyond those realms of possibility. Sometimes we probably ask ourselves, you know, how does DiMarzio get all this news? Well, actually, he's very reliable. He's not based in England, so no problem, Written. There's no rush, bro. I appreciate your support. Joel, I'm not going to do an Irish accent. My nan had a lot of my family have thick Irish accents. I was born here, so I have an English accent, and I'm not going to try it because it's just embarrassing, and my grandma will turn in her grave. So let's not do that. Let me not disappoint my grandma. This summer is key. We are financially better off than other clubs. We can take a leap by 2+ years in this rebuild, says Richard. Now, yeah, I'm going to try and, for a minute, I'm going to try and not be as sceptical as I usually am. And I'm going to say, all right, let's say this is true. Can United benefit from this uncertainty that we're having? Can United benefit from this financial pandemic? It's going to be an issue for everybody. Can we be one of those clubs that benefits? And there is a train of thought that makes me think, yes, that could happen. United, obviously, 140 million credit. We had cash in the reserve already, around 100. You could possibly recoup some money. Obviously, not all of that's going to be spent on transfers. But United may look at it from a shrewd business perspective and think, well, if we spend an extra 100 million here, it's going to mean we don't have to spend an extra 150, 200 million in the next couple of windows, because players' prices, again, will eventually probably go back up once the TV revenue comes in, fans get back into stadiums and things start rolling again. So this window is going to be a very unique window in that players' prices are probably going to be 20, 30% off what they would be next summer, especially if their clubs want to let them go or the players are really pushing for a move. So United may think, right, we planned on buying someone in January or next summer. We planned on getting a striker next summer when AdamMcKola goes. But what if we can get him for cheaper now? Let's do it. Or we planned on buying a defensive midfielder, but then we kept Nemanja Matic. We planned on buying one next year, but Matic, let's get him. We can get someone for cheap. So they may start thinking that we can get players for cheaper now. Let's go and do it. And that's understandable from a business perspective. They have to be prepared to do that. So it would make sense, but it could mean a very couple of quiet transfer windows in the near future. Rohan, how you doing? Dragon the Uncharted's in the house. Nimish says, I think this is PR spin as we are not getting Bellingham. I don't think we need to spin the Bellingham thing, you know, bruv. Nemish. I don't know, like, do you guys agree with Nemish? Or do you look at it like this? I don't think they need to spin the Bellingham one. The Bellingham one was always publicly a choice. Like, him going to Dortmund is not a shock. Like, it's not a shock for anybody. Him coming to United, you know, it would be difficult for him to get, like, we know that. I would love him to come to United. I think he's a talented player. I'm not saying that. But you can see why that decision would be made. I don't think you need to spin that in PR. I really don't. But some of you may think that we may have done. Let us know. With that money, Koulibaly is possible, says Oliver. Nemish reiterates, PR spin 100%. Now is the time to spend more and get more players, says Joel. Rave says, don't buy it, believe it when we see it. Paul B says, Adam, you know it and I know it, that 140 credit was for Glazer's pockets, not player purchases. The 90 million that saved is for Sancho. That's it. And that could be very well the case, because what you could see United doing is, and businesses would probably like to have a cash reserve there of, you know, especially a company like United, 100 million. So if they've brought in 140, you've got 100, you spend that, you know, around 130 million, you've still got that 100 million in cash reserves just sitting there. And then the Glazers can do what they wish with that. So you could be bang on, mate. You could be bang on. Bargain of the summer's Werner, says Vishal. Release clause doesn't help with that one, does it? They could never really get a bidding war going. We've had another member, guys. Thank you very much to Dead Polar for joining and becoming the 85th member on AdamMcKola TV. We are now 15 away. Thank you very much, Dead Polar, for joining. I appreciate you, everybody. Thank you very much. Hello, Cape Town. How you doing, Adam? Hope you're well. Ruves says if he's smart, he'd go to Dortmund. Minnie's shouting out Dead Polar. Yeah, shout out Dead Polar, man. What a legend. We should raid the French League One, says 64 Ahmed. Who do you fancy? Camavinga? Dembele? Someone like that? Finally, says Dead Polar. You know what? That every time someone says finally, I have to read it like The Rock. So I do apologise. If Jude has gone already, I hope this means we backed off in order to get Sancho to us, says Manav. That could be the case as well, where if you're seeing, who was it? When we signed Maguire, there was, I don't know if this is true, so, you know, it could have been wrong. But when we signed Maguire, we told Leicester we'd back off Tillmans or something like that, apparently. In order to get a little bit more favour in with them in regards to signing Harry Maguire. Now, United could do this with Jude and Jadon and say, yo, Dortmund, we'll back up, take Jude, give us Jadon, 10 mil off, or something like that. Otherwise, we're going to crank that price up on Jude Bellingham. We're going to enter a bidding war with you for Jude Bellingham so that that price goes up. So now, even if we pay you more for Jadon Sancho, you've had to spend it on Jude Bellingham because we've made that price go up by 20 million. There could be those kind of little bits of warfare in the transfer market that take place as well. United trying to, you know, mess up there. All right, we'll back off. We'll back off. We'll back off. You have a free run at Jude. Give us Jadon Sancho for 90 million instead of this 115 million that you're talking about, and then you can settle down to some, hopefully, some sort of deal. 1 week to go till football returns. Cannot wait. I'm not sure what time the kickoffs are today. Dan, Manchester United are rumoured to be playing West Bromwich Albion at Old Trafford today in 2 games. So fingers crossed for that one. Going ahead as well, I suppose. The last game obviously got cancelled. We've got over 400 people watching, guys. Get hitting that like button if you can. I think this is the highest audience we've had this week. So if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button, please. We're trying to hit 75k by the end of June. If we can do that, happy days. Then we're going to set the target for 100k and get that plaque in this bitch. Also, we're trying to hit the target of 100 members. We've had a few new members today, like Dead Polar joining us. Simon Crazy Vape rejoined us as well on here. So guys, if you can join, just like written, then make sure you're hitting that join button. You get exclusive content on a monthly basis. You get to join the Discord. You get to get your questions in when I get interviews with players and so on. Questions for Q&As, topics for videos. All that good stuff, and you help support the growth of the channel. We're really stepping things up here on AdamMcKola TV. We're having daily content for you every single day, twice daily most days as well. And when the football returns, oh my god, I can't wait. We're going to be doing a few various things, obviously possibly a watch along. We're going to have fan cams, online fan cams at some point until I get back at Old Trafford and at all the other stadiums doing it for full-time Devils. We'll be doing some fan cams for myself as well here on this channel. We will have my reviews, aftermath lives the next day. There's so many things that are going to come your way, so make sure you're keeping it locked, subscribing, liking, commenting, sharing, and of course joining if you can. Any more news you guys want me to discuss, let me know in those comments below. Liam, thank you very much. Caribbean Gaming, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Joined a bit late, says Bitu. No worries, mate, but I highly doubt that United have 300 mil. If we did, we probably would have gone for Werner as well. We probably have only enough funds for Sancho and 1 midfielder. And I do feel like you now. I apologise because in this graphic I put 300 million pounds. It's actually 300 million euros, which equates to 268 million pounds. But even then, I can't imagine that that would be the case. I just can't see it. Yes, written. We'll get a watch along on the go. Too early for a rum. It is too early for a rum for me now. I need a coffee or something at the moment. Possible swap for Cristiano Ronaldo. I've heard a lot of talk about Cristiano Ronaldo leaving Juventus in the last couple of days. Why is there so much talk about that? Is it just that same old stuff popping up again, or is it true? Because he's returned back to football like a man possessed, hasn't he? He's fit, he's firing, he's looking good. Ronaldo ain't leaving. He ain't leaving. It's unfinished business there. Unfinished business. They're from Belfast, but I got loads of them all over. Northern Ireland Republic. But it's Ireland to me. It's Ireland. You can go to stadiums. We can't go to stadiums. Is Harry Kane coming to United? No chance. So that's what you've got. And someone just reminded me in the comments about Kai Havertz and Christian Falk in that article with United Report, which I mentioned earlier, also said that Manchester United is an option for Kai Havertz. His management have been told about the big plans of the new team, but Chelsea are more concrete in the talks at the moment. Perhaps Chelsea are a game faster than United, like in the case of Timo Werner. It looks like United are considering some of these and just thinking, nah, or moving too slow. Maybe they have their preference in signings. And you've heard a couple of times that, you know, it looks like a United that are doing their business. They're having those they're having those options backed up, 1, 2, 3, 4 options in the back. So in case of Jude Bellingham don't happen, Jadon Sancho don't happen, Jack Grealish don't happen, they've got all those options there in the back. So I like the way United are doing their business at the moment. I'm not too concerned about it. There does seem to be a method to the madness this time around. And I don't think Ollie's given us any reason to be suspicious of him in the transfer market so far. He does seem to be doing well there. It's also, you got to consider mid-season. So whilst yes, there's time for teams to work on transfers, it's also mid-season. Yes, it's June, normally the transfer window and the transfer talk would all be firing at this moment in time, but it's mid-season. So we have to take that into consideration as well. Guys, let us know your thoughts. We got our last couple of minutes here on the show as we hear Kai Havertz is an option for Man United, but Chelsea are leading the race there. Go and check it out on unitedreport.co.uk if you want to see more of that article and get some more stuff on Thomas Muller and co. We've heard nothing on Angel Gomez at this moment in time. Christian Falks at Sport Build. Weren't we once linked with a Club Brugge player? Not sure about that. How you doing, Simon? Thank you for joining us. Prefer us biding our time as long as we get Sancho, says Steve. Yeah, I'm not too concerned about Timo Werner or anything like that, to be totally honest with you. Edward says, any news on Angel Gomez? Nothing at this moment in time. We've heard absolutely nothing at this moment in time. So hopefully we get some sort of news on Angel Gomez in the near future. I'd love it if we could announce Angel Gomez and Paul Pogba contracts at the same damn time. But there's nothing. All the stories on Angel Gomez are from weeks ago and not days. But he has been playing with United. He has been training with United, which has been, of course, good for us. Now, I've seen a picture, which was great. And now I can't find it, which is frustrating. Oh no. But there was a picture of training. Martial, Bruno, Pogba and Rashford all had the vests on in what looked like they were playing a match. So it looked like they were playing in the same team. Hopefully that's a hint of what is to come on a week today. 1 week today till Manchester United return in football. And I, my friends, really and truly cannot wait for that. Guys, thank you for joining us here on AdamMcKola TV. This has been United Daily Live. Use that have been legends for tuning in. Make sure you're hitting that like button, commenting, sharing, subscribing, joining if you can. And of course, make sure you're back later for Straight Up MUFC. Make sure you're back tomorrow for United Daily Live. FM. We're going to have that in your lives. We're going to have loads coming your way. So make sure you're keeping it locked. Like, comment, share and subscribe. A return of Pod to Nowhere this weekend as well. And for now, I'm AdamMcKola. I'm out of here.